All right, you grasshoppers, we are live, and these two women are going to be famous in a few, let's say, years. You're going to be famous, all right? So, because I grew up in Canada playing hockey, mothers played such a huge role. Fathers did as well, but mothers did get us to practice and getting the equipment clean and cooking for us and everything. So, these are two hockey mothers from Canton, Michigan. We have Pam. Pam, how do you say your last name?
Ahi, like a silent G.
Very good. And Lou Cannon. She's a loose cannon. She was partying all weekend in Vermont. We're going to spread that rumor around. And they are here today to talk about what I used in my recipe the last couple of weeks, Celly salt. So those of you who don't know, in hockey terms, a celebration after a goal is shortened to Celly. That's what we do in the hockey world. We just abbreviate things. So these wonderful mothers have sons that are playing hockey. So they created a product called Celly salt. Fantastic stuff too. So how did this all start then? Like, I mean, obviously the hockey part we understand, but why did you get into making salts?
Well, we're on the road a lot with the kids, and we eat on the road and we cook on the road. And as they got older, they didn't want to go out to eat as much. So, you can only steal the salt and pepper from the hotel so much, and you want to try to create your own. And we love to eat. We love to cook. So it just was a natural fit for all our travels.
And Pam, are you a foodie or something like that? Are you a nutritionist?
Dietitian.
Oh, you registered dietitian. Okay, yeah. Good. So that comes up sometimes because a lot of people that are in the healthy, like I'm all into the healthy food, and people sometimes say you should not eat salt. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's how much salt. It's like any other food, right? It's how much you eat of it.
Right, exactly. And with these seasonings, you can cook your own food. So that's always better to be able to cook your own and create what you want, and it's always healthier. And then our products are lower in sodium than your regular table salt. So, yeah.
Why is that? How do you do that?
So it's gonna be a few numbers here. So a quarter teaspoon of salt's around 600 milligrams of sodium. Our original product is 370. Our spicy is 290, and our herb is only 75 milligrams of sodium. So it's low sodium food actually.
Oh. So how do you get to be low? So it's the same amount of salt in it, actually? It's just a different kind of salt? Or?
No, it's the volume of the product. So like, because we have pepper and garlic and other seasonings in there, the sodium ends up being lower.
So you've got the pucking hot, which is an excellent choice. I like that. That's good. So so that has got cayenne pepper and red pepper flakes in there and everything?
That's right, along with the original product, the salt, pepper, garlic base. Yep.
So all the products have salt, pepper, and garlic in them. It's just what originally you put in there. Yep. Okay, so you get the pucking hot, and it is pretty hot too. I've used it. It's good. And you've got the one with the basil and oregano and everything. Is that the spice one?
No, so the herb has basil, parsley, marjoram, and chives.
Good.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. So just the 3 products right now?
Yep. Yeah, we're working on a few other flavors, but slow and steady.
So you making this all by yourself in the garage, or what are you doing?
Well, we make it in my home right now, gloved up, masked up, aproned up, and make it in small batches. So it's made with love and care, and we do everything from start to finish.
Nice. And you package it and everything?
We package it. We try to utilize all of our suppliers. We try to keep them all in Michigan, although we do have some outside of Michigan. But our bottles, our labels come from a company called Sticker Genius. It's a female-owned company here in Troy, Michigan, and our bottles are from Porter Bottle, a local bottle supplier, container supplier in Detroit. Our ingredients, we try to get them primarily from suppliers in Michigan, so we're trying to do it that way. But we recipe develop, we blend it, we label it, we bottle it, we mail it, we market it. Just the 2 of us. We are it.
Okay. The one question I have for you, when you told me you did all that, how do you get the little sealer thing on top? Like when you first get the salt, it's got the seal thing on top. How do you do that?
The caps come with the sealer thing. So as soon as we put the cap on, you
sealed.
You can't open it. I mean,
I'm disappointed. I thought it was some master science or something like that you used, but
we can pretend it is.
The little gnomes back in the kitchen. Yeah.
The gnomes. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys from Michigan originally?
I'm from Illinois.
And I grew up in Massachusetts, went to college in Philly, and then from Philly moved here.
We get careful around here. This is Ranger territory. You start talking about Philadelphia, you're in big trouble.
I want some more Flyers fans at home.
Yeah. So I think I told you, Lou, when we talked, I went to Northern Michigan University many years ago. And I actually, when I retired from playing and got in the agent business, I lived in Bluefield Hills.
Okay.
So not too far away from you guys.
Yeah.
Love Michigan too. It's funny. I don't think people realize how beautiful Michigan is with all the lakes and everything. I guess maybe the weather is the downside, but I loved it there. It's great.
Yeah, we're transplants here. So,
Yeah,
so how many kids do you have playing hockey?
I have one playing hockey. He's at St. Mary's University in Winona, Minnesota, and he's finished 3 years of junior, so he's a freshman there. And then I have a daughter who works at Nationwide Children's Hospital that has nothing to do with playing hockey.
And so what do your kids think of this whole project at Selly Salt?
They love it. They love it. In fact, Alex, my son, sharing with his teammates, his coaches, his trainer. They dig it. They come home like, wow, it really smells very garlicky in our home.
It is good. Oh, it's really good stuff. I like the idea that it's got already mixed up, right? So most of the recipes you use have always got garlic and salt and pepper in it. And it's already there and ready to go. How about you, Pam? How many kids do you have?
I have 2 boys. One's a freshman at Northwood University here in Midland, Michigan. And he always takes a little Selly Salt with him to the cafeteria because the food, he wants the food to taste a little better.
Nice.
And then I have a sophomore at University of Maine. Yep.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Good. No, I love it. It's good. So what is so have you got a master plan of where you're going to be in 6 months and a year and all that kind of stuff?
Well, of course, in my head, you say I'm wild, and I'm always thinking way far ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we'll get there eventually. And Pam reels me back in, and it's slow and steady, and just be patient. So we would love to, I don't really have an answer actually, because we don't know.
Right.
We have people try it first.
Yeah. We have our first big tournament coming up, local hockey tournament, where we're going to be, the person at the booth selling our Selly Salt. So I'm hoping that's going to be our audience.
Are you big on social media? You are on social media, but are you really going at that pretty hard too?
Very hard.
Yeah.
In all aspects, including LinkedIn.
Good. I've learned a lot. My youngest son, who's 28 now, probably about 5 years ago, he was always pushing me to brand myself more, to get on social media. And it's funny, I've told the story a few times that he started yelling at me one day because I couldn't understand what a hashtag was. He's like, to him, it was just like, that hashtag. And I go, well, what is a hashtag? So I've come a long way now, and I've got better, but still got a long way to go. So it's, like you said, a generational thing. But it's interesting. Ron Duguay, a former teammate of mine, was the one that put us together. And how did that relationship start with Ron?
Well, he saw a post of Pam and I talking about hockey moms on Instagram. And then his friend posted something about us and how, we're, I don't want to swear on your show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kick-ass hockey moms or something like that. We're like, okay. And then we are, I guess. And then he reached out to us and how he loves, the whole hockey moms and how they're so important and all the things that they do for their family and children and such. And then he introduced, and I asked him, I said, hey, is there anybody you want us to send this to try? And your name, of course, came up. And he's like, you actually needed to speak to him, not just send him a note. You need to speak to him live.
Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck with me now.
That's okay. I like it. I like the energy.
Yeah. It's funny. So when I first started all this stuff, growing up, I'm sure Canada and Michigan and almost the same stuff. The kids are really raised back in those days when I was coming up that you've got to be humble to think about the game and the team. And since I've got off in this motivational speaking and stuff, I've really realized that I have to be more vocal. In fact, it's funny. We did my father had dementia when he passed away a while ago. And here locally, they had an Alzheimer's walk. So I did a lot of promotional stuff, had a team there, Team Grasshoppers. That's who everybody is that follows me on True Grit Life. And they asked me to speak at the event. In fact, I was going to make all the announcements. They were going to call me the voice of God, which I'd loved, of course. I think I'm the voice of God already. And so this woman, she's a really nice person, a lot of stress going on. She gave me a script to follow, announcements like stay 6 feet apart and all those kinds of things. And of course, when I get up there, I tried to, I add, well, I always do. I ad lib a little bit, even though they give me a script. My sons were there, so right now it's them, trying to embarrass them and everything. And this woman, her name is Esther, she walked by because I wasn't getting to the script yet. She goes, stick with the script, stick to the script. She was mad at me. And so, of course, I had to announce that she was mad at me. Esther wants me to stick with the script. And so when I got done, I did all the reading and the script and everything. And when I got done, she grabbed the microphone and the script out of my hand. She says, you're done. That's it.
Oh, no way.
So I get benched at a charity event, I tell everybody. So, yeah. So that's funny stuff. In all seriousness, no, like it is true. It's amazing the response I think you get from pro hockey players or guys that just come up playing hockey, but mothers and their role. And again, we don't want to diminish the role that the father does, but very often maybe he's working more or whatever. And my mother was certainly the same way, like if I had a game after school, she'd package, in the Tupperware dinner for me so he could pick me up at school and then drive. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. It's getting up early in the morning. I don't know. In fact, I had some friends of mine, an English couple that had come over here, and their young son took a liking to hockey and started playing. So they asked me some advice, and I said, this is the first thing and the best thing you could do is just, be a parent, leave the child alone, let them go play. Yeah. They called me up about 3 years later. They said, well, Tom, we really didn't listen to your advice. Now the mother was the team mother. He was the president of the organization, which, you kind of laugh about, but that's what happens, right? You get drawn into it. It's your child. You want to make sure things are done properly. Are you guys pretty actively involved in that way as well? Or were you?
We try to remain more quiet in the stands. We did. Because, the crazy moms with the huge buttons screaming at her like 16 or 14-year-old son, and they can't hear you on the ice. And then they're screaming about your kid and don't realize that you're right behind them. And I've only gone to the dark side once. We were in Canada. I think we were with Todd, was it with Todd's team? Todd Bertuzzi's team with Oakland Junior Grizzlies. And so my son's kind of an instigator. Anyway,
like his mother is.
All these guys are jumping on him, and it was just crazy. And I stood up in the stands and I stepped into the dark side, and I said, "Oh my!" That was one time I was like, and everyone turned saying, "You said that," and I was like, "Oh my." Yeah. I usually hold it in because I don't care for that sort of behavior, but I did it once out loud.
But Pam, it's hard to hold it in, though, isn't it, as a mother?
It is, but I've got a big kid, so he's the one doing the hitting, not receiving it as quite as much. So I don't know. I kind of like
Pam,
that.
But you push Pam though, but Pam's like, I'm this and she's slow and steady, but you push her over that edge. You better watch out.
Don't
ref
poke the bear.
Then she'll get up and.
So I coached a lot too. One of the sayings that coaches has is that they love coaching as long as the parents didn't get involved, or if they didn't have to have parents, it'd be better. Right. And I coached for a while when my sons were younger. Then I got away from it. I went back coaching again. And after learning more, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like parents love their kids, and even the parents who act inappropriately very often are not bad people. They just love their kids so much, right? They want them to be, and especially in the sport of hockey, they want them to be safe. They want them to do well. And I've had a lot of parents come back to me after maybe have a confrontation with them years later and say, "Oh, I see what you meant now, Tom," because it's so easy after you go through it to just say to parents, "Listen, just be there to support your child and let him decide, him or her, if they want to be players or not. They've got to do the work." It sounds like you guys understood that pretty clearly, though, right?
Well, my husband played, and I grew up. My dad played, and everyone played. So it's always we're cheering for everyone, or positive things outwardly. I mean, inside we may be like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?" Yeah. But yeah, and my husband was a manager a while ago, but I just try to sit back and. Just be respectful as I could.
I was coaching about 4 or 5 years ago with a former teammate of mine out in Los Angeles, a good NHL player, John Tonelli. His son was on the team. It was last year, like 14-year-olds, and it was a really good team. They were nationally ranked and everything. And so he asked me to coach with him. It's going to be his last year playing before he went off to prep school. And we had a couple, some hard hitting, and there's a couple times where players on the other team would get hurt, go down, maybe fly to the boards or something. And I always, just like you said, you're always cheering for everybody. I always felt it was important for the other coaches, for everybody to go take care of that boy. It doesn't matter that he's on the other team, right? It's it's a young boy or girl, whatever the case may be. So I agree with you. It's almost like parents sometimes get so wrapped up in it. Again, if they could just see themselves. We had where I coached here locally. Like a lot of rinks, there's the benches on one side and the stands are on the other side. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting, right? Because you can see the parents with their way they're reacting and how the boys or girls are watching their own parents react to it. We should have done it. We never did it. It's like take a video and show the parents how they look, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
We had one dad that would do hand signals to his son. And, you as a coach you're the coach. But the dad would be the whistle sound and the hands.
I know. It is funny. So I was coaching the local high school team here one year. And, they're high school kids, right? And it's not a real high level. And it's more disciplining them. That's the issue. It isn't much about hockey. So we'd practice the power play a little bit. We got there out on the ice and the same kind of thing there. One father yelled, spread out. Now I'm trying to teach the kids to get closer together to make create cool ones. And the dad yells, and he's a great guy. And I knew him. He doesn't really know hockey that well. His reaction was spread out. The power play was going on. I'm going, oh, jeez. Like it's like as a coach, you want to go talk to him and say, can you shut up, please? Yeah. We did have one incident though with younger kids where it got really wild, and the parents on both sides were going nutty, and we actually asked the referee to stop the game, and the coach on the other team and I went over to lecture the fans or the parents.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did absolutely no good. They didn't listen to a word we said.
Their emotions take the best of them, and you just forget that it's not about them; it's about the kids.
Yeah.
And that we put them in your hands as a coach.
Yeah.
But some get so emotionally charged, they just go downhill.
Yeah. So let's get back to your Selly salts here. Have you got a marketing plan at all? What you're planning on doing, or is it just you're getting product out there as many people as possible right now?
Well, our site's only been live since end of February, and then we started this during COVID. So it is a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because many people are on the computer. So sellysalt.com is our website. Mm-hmm. So that and with our social media, we're slow and steady. I kept remind myself it's only been 7 months. We would love to eventually get co-packers and get it out retail wise. We have some retailers. We have Eastern Market of Canton here locally that carries it, and Pop Pop's Gourmet Popcorn in Midland, Michigan, near where her son goes locally. Mm-hmm. And we've sent out samples, and really for these products and for the names, it takes a village. So we incorporated everybody. Okay, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this logo? What do you think of this color? Taglines. Like her son came up with the tagline for Selly Salt, Shake Season Selly. My son's billet mom came up with It's Pucking Hot. So, and then the chirp and herb are one, since it's so derogatory to chirp, we had to be pleasant about it with a G-rated tagline because we couldn't really put something like that. It would offend somebody.
Cool.
But for example, I asked my brother, I wanted to do the design. So the logo's modeled after my son, Alex, after scoring a goal. And one of my brothers, I said, hey, can you help me? He's a graphic designer. And he's like, I'm really busy. I said, fine, I'll do it myself. So I drew this hockey player sprinkling salt, and he's like, let me fix it. So he tightened it up and made this because he's like, no, you're not using that.
That's good.
If you say that,
I'm the same way. Like I come up with ideas, or actually I've stopped thinking of ideas now. I've done this enough time now. I'm writing a book actually. So we asked a lot of the fans to get involved in the book, create the graphics for the book, and it worked out great. They were happy to do it and be part of it, and you get a lot of different creative ideas and everything. Yeah, that creativity part, I guess I've got some of that in me, but that is the hard part, right? About when it's your product to come up with that stuff. So Pam, so nutritionists then, so people come to you and you create a whole diet program for them?
I did a couple things. Well, when I was home with my kids, I worked for a local food magazine, and where I was their food editor and recipe editor. And now I'm back in the hospital, and I work in the clinical inpatient. So people come in with acute issues, and we diagnose either malnutrition or give them diet education, that kind of thing. But as far as Selly Salt goes, I'm definitely all about the recipe development and the development of the products and new flavors of the product, and cooking. And I do better doing than sitting here talking. So I would sure. Like next time we need to cook together. I think
okay, good. Yeah. We'll do the Sunday cooking show. Yeah. I have a friend of mine down in Texas who's starting a company. They've gone to insurance companies, health insurance companies, and they spend. We probably understand this business better than I do. But they spend, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars on patients that are diabetic. So they send them all kinds of medication. So they created this concept and idea. It's also the exercises, where they're sending them healthy foods and showing them how to eat healthier and lose the weight and hopefully then not be diabetic any longer. Does that make sense to you? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Prevention is huge. And I would love for health insurances to jump in on like, preventing the diabetes to begin with, or preventing the hospital admission to begin with. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think that's where you guys have something going too, right? Because it's tied into hockey. So, as you know, part of being healthy is the exercise part of it, right? So now you can really push that healthy lifestyle where it's lower sodium. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I also teach group exercise classes. So I wear that hat too.
Oh.
I teach like spinning and.
Here's one of our, sorry, Lou, but silly salt goes well in Margarita Glasses. Yes.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does. We have a recipe.
You tried it out?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's on the website.
We have the Sin Bin grapefruit margarita.
Oh, nice. The Sin Bin grapefruit margarita. Nice. I got a juicer a couple years ago. So I was fooling around with the juicer. It was a Super Bowl. And I juiced up a whole bunch of carrots and spinach and all kinds of stuff. And then I poured tequila in there. So it was a tequila salad I created. Yes.
It's kind of like a Bloody Mary, right? I mean, it's not much.
Yeah, totally. I thought it was so healthy. I had quite a few of them. It was so healthy.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely. But I do like that angle, right? Where it's healthy. It's about sports. It isn't just about, because I think sometimes we get so, and obviously you want foods that taste good. You want it, but I think just, this way it's the whole healthy lifestyle, right? I like that. It's good.
Yeah, we laugh a lot. We, as we're doing our, whatever we're doing at the time, we get a good chuckle.
Right. So you mentioned the husbands. How do they feel about this? Are they all on board? Or are they like, oh God, what you get yourself into now?
No, my husband's always well fed. He's super happy about that. Like, right. So what are we making tonight with salad? Okay, sweet. I'll eat it. Like,
good. Yeah. Now, do your husbands cook at all?
Oh no, you don't want that. Yeah. The grill is mine. The smoker is mine. Everything's mine in the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How about you, Lou?
I do most of the cooking as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I'm single. So I've, especially during the pandemic, started my Sunday cooking show. Start off, I was lifting my propane tanks up my back deck, just goofing around. I was videoing it, and then I started. So people thought it was funny. So I started taping my former teammates' pictures onto the propane tanks. I can't remember how it all started. I kept adding more pictures every week. I would do this every Sunday. And then I guess it was weather reasons or whatever. I took all the pictures and I started taping them to my kitchen cabinets. And then I started cooking. And it's evolved now where it's incumbent on me now to plate the food properly too. Like I have to take the proper picture and have all the spices on and everything. So it's actually, I enjoy cooking. I like cooking. It's fun.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we did it on the road with the kids too. I had a tip from another fellow hockey mom where I got a electric griddle, one of those big, and we'd have that in the hotel room so we can make pancakes and omelets and grilled cheeses. Cause we're like, the kids got to the point where they were old enough where they wanted to come back and like just hang out, do their homework, relax, and we'd be cooking on the griddle. So like,
that's so much healthier too, right? Because now you're not like, they put so much sodium in restaurant foods and everything. So now you guys can control with your own salt how much you put in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see when people try. Well, first of all, it's fun to hear when people say, "Oh, I put Selly on everything," and they are clearly not a hockey person. Or I love Sin Bin on my eggs or whatever, or my avocado toast. And we have to first explain what Selly means and Sin Bin, and then they're like, and then they use the terms, and it's so much fun.
It's true. Oh man, that's cool. I can think of all the ideas that are going through my head now. What you do with this, right? The hockey term.
We love ideas and brainstorming. We're all about that.
Well, I'm just thinking, to get the Detroit Red Wings or something on board. Some team that and I really like the health angle too. So like get into gyms or something like that where they've got food. Where that's the salt. Like I belong to. I don't know if they've got them out there or not. Lifetime Athletic. I used to belong to it anyways. And they've got a little restaurant in there.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the salt. I think they give out salt packets or whatever, but have your Selly salt on the tables instead. Yeah. I'm just thinking of ways to get it out there.
Like the little food shops at the rinks. Cause all they give the kids are, like pizza and slushies. Like if there's some actual real food there, this would be a great.
Yeah. Have you gone to the rinks yet to just?
We've been reaching out to rinks to oh gosh,
the dietitian, the Red Wings.
The Red Wings. Yeah. Various hockey teams trying to reach out to the dietitians, give them samples to try, let their chefs try it for their players. So as probably like yourself, I can talk to anybody. So I have reached out to many people. It's just a matter of the connection and getting them to try it. And then once they try it, they go, oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. Ooh. Because I've got a bunch of buddies like up in Norwalk. There's a rink up there, and a friend of mine runs it's his restaurant up there too. So I mean, they've got to use salt. So if you're willing to just give them the salt that's sitting there so everybody see it, I like that a lot. Oh. Then we could do a show. I'll go up there and do a show one day at the rink. Good.
We would love that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we also have the mini, like, when you're tailgating or you're on the road or you want to take it to work, we've got the minis.
Right. Right. Well, that's why you sent me the minis. I couldn't get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Yes. Well,
as long as I'm the face of Selly Salt, then that's because I am the voice of God.
You're always celebrating, right?
Yes. Yeah. I like the idea of the margaritas too.
Yeah.
Oh, you will enjoy that one. It was developed in Pensacola, Florida.
So what do you use? Just the regular Selly Salt? What do you use?
You use a sin bin fire and
Oh.
some jalapenos and fresh grapefruit juice and.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta send me that recipe then. I want that.
Yeah, it's on our website too with fun pictures.
Okay, good.
But we can send it to you as well. Whatever you need.
Okay, and then
So some people like this, they put the sin bin on their avocado toast, on eggs, on meat, fish, veggies, rice.
And which one's that? The sin bin?
Yep, sin bin, but they put it on everything. And then I have my cousin and a friend who don't do salt, and they have been doing the chirp and herb because the sodium's so low, and they put it on everything. And they're so excited because the flavors all blend so nicely.
They do, yeah. Good. I like that you put little directions on there too. You got to shake it, right? Or how would you have it? Turn it to the right, turn it to the left.
This is the proper way, because sometimes some people that are related to us just go like this.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to kind of shake it and then do this and then shake it on.
There's no emulsifiers. There's no anti-caking agents. There's nothing in it that's going to keep it all together. You got to give it a little shake.
Okay, I like it. A little shake. We should do a music video of that, like make a song or something like that. Do it, dancing around, shaking the salt.
The Selly shake.
Oh man! What I'll do is I'll have a couple margaritas. I'll get the video camera going, and then I'll do a little dance shaking the Selly salt.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. We'd like that.
I did a video. It must have been about 2 or 3 years ago. I was peeling an egg. So I turned my phone on the camera on my phone and I set it down. And I was just being total smart. I said, okay, here's how you have to peel the egg. You got to get under the film, And I thought it was just a goofy video. I sent it to a couple of people. They go, Tom, that's unbelievable. It's funny. So when you look at your own stuff, sometimes you don't think it's funny, but somebody else looks at it and they get a kick out of it. So
yeah, I've learned a lot from Pam. In terms of cooking
things.
Pam
was shocked to hear that.
Oh.
Well, no, I said, I just did it like you. I mean,
she'll say, Mike was so psyched to hear that she's totally cooking more. Her husband's so psyched she's totally cooking more with all this now that I've.
So here's got one of our listeners here. Silly, so be a good banner on the front of the boards. Okay, like that. I like that.
Great. We like that.
So he's got some ideas. So we're going to get our listeners. Our listeners are pretty good with coming up with new ideas too.
Yeah,
we welcome ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, we should do this. We do it once a week if you want, like updates on Selly Salt, talk about the hockey world from a mom's perspective. I'm really big in the mental health issues and physical health. I'm all into, intermittent fasting and healthy foods and all that. And I know you guys are as well. Let's we can just keep this going and keep promoting Selly Salt.
We would love that.
That'd be great.
Anything for hockey moms. That's the way it goes. Well, it's great to meet you guys again. This is Pam and Lou. They're from Canton, Michigan. They've started this fantastic product, Selly Salt, coming from Celebration, which in hockey terms is a Selly. So they started the salt. That I have it. I use it in everything now. Tastes fantastic. It's a great concept. It's not unique. I was at Costco the other day and I saw similar brands, but I think it's all about the marketing, right? I've talked to people many times with Red Bull. Red Bull's a can of sugar and caffeine. It's terrible for you, but they just fantastic at marketing. And
they really did. We'll get into all the ranks, and then it'll be our marketing. Yeah.
All the healthy stuff and everything. I like that. I like how you quoted the lower sodium than just the regular salt too. That's excellent. Good deal. All right, guys. So we're going to try to do this every week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Pam, Lou, great to meet you finally. And let's get going with our Selly Salt. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks so much, Tom.
Thanks.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.